Hey guys, it's Corey and I'm back with another video. In today's video I'm going to be doing something a little different and I'm going to call it a game appreciation. So really with this channel I don't want to be sort of just talking about games in a bad light or my concerns or something like that. I want to be able to voice good opinions on games, and I also want to voice it if a game's good. So the first game that I'm going to talk about is Dark Souls 1. So I just want to start off by saying that Dark Souls 1, when I first got it, was absolutely brutal to play. My first playthrough was just terrible, honestly. For me, to see myself play in a way like I did when my first playthrough was just, it broke me. The game broke me. And really I have to thank From Software for doing that with the game, because no other company now will do something like that because it's too much of a risk. So to start the video off properly, I just kind of want to talk about the challenge to a new player with Dark Souls. So the first enemy that you really face off against is the Asylum Demon. That's the first proper enemy that fights back, and that's brutal. That is so difficult to somebody that's never played Dark Souls, never played a game like Dark Souls, to go into a room, barely know how to do the controls, barely know how to do anything, and then be told, oh yeah, you need to kill this big guy to get to the next area. Because when you walk in that boss room, first of all, you think, where am I meant to go? For me, it took 2 goes for me to realise that there's the door down into the sewers. I'd like to say that I'm quite vigilant and know what's going on. So for somebody who isn't, they're kind of screwed, because then when you're trying to find the exit, or try and find a way out, or even start fighting the boss, you've got fat ass fucking Asylum Demon trying to hit you with a mallet. What are you supposed to do? What is it that you can do as a starting player in this situation other than kill the boss? I mean, your weapon, if it's the first time you go in there, you don't have a proper weapon. You've got a broken straight sword, I think, or something like that. I don't think you actually have your weapons until you go into the sewer and you go back through that little area to go and get your Estus flask and your shield and stuff like that. But if you're there in your first time, you have literally fuck all. And I applaud From Software for doing that to us, for going, yeah, there you go, have a go at that. We're not going to tell you what to do, because that is ballsy, for lack of a better term. And then after that, you get one of the best feelings in the game when you actually manage to kill the Asylum Demon, because you get the adrenaline rush of actually killing a boss for the first time. And honestly, that's what kept me playing the game, was knowing, well, the next boss that I encounter, I'm probably going to struggle with, and when I kill it, it's going to feel fucking awesome. And to be fair, I will say, yeah, it did. It felt well good to actually be able to kill some massive boss and just walk away like, ah yeah, same old, same old. So another thing that I want to talk about is the sort of level design. There's a lot of interlocking areas in Dark Souls 1, especially at the start of the game, and that is also amazing. It's really well done in the starting areas. You know, you start at Firelink Shrine, you move up into the Undead Burg, and from there you go through that area. It links back around right by the end. It links to Sen's Fortress, it links to Darkroot Basin, it also links to the Catacombs, it links to the New Londo Ruins, it even links to Blighttown and the Valley of the Drakes. Firelink Shrine is the hub, but it's a really well-made hub. Whereas there's things like Majula, which was Dark Souls 2, which its hub was alright, but it wasn't that good. And then Dark Souls 3 Firelink Shrine just isn't a hub, it's just an area for your main characters, for your vendors and your blacksmith and stuff. Like, it's not bad, but it could have been better. And there's also the case of the secret entrances. So another area that I've actually forgot to mention that linked to Firelink Shrine was the depths. And there's a shortcut at the depths, or just before the entrance to the depths, which links straight back to Firelink Shrine. It even opens up a vendor for you to get, I think it's the cure for poison. And it's just a really well-made, well-designed area, a well-designed map, where in Anor Londo there's a little bit like the sort of entrance to the Duke's Archives to go and see Seath. I think that's the only area really that leads off from Anor Londo. I think you get to the end of Anor Londo, you see Guinevere, you either kill her and you see Gwendolyn, or you don't and you get the Lord Vessel. But I mean, I don't think I've ever been part of a game that's been as big as Dark Souls 1 was, and how well designed all the different areas were, how they sort of linked in together. I think the start of the game, especially up to the second Bell of Awakening, the theme with the whole level design is levels and height and difference in height and stuff like that. because all the different areas, you're always going up a set of stairs and you're always looking down on different things or looking up to big massive structures, and then you end up getting to those structures. It's like with the symbolization of Anor Londo, you go to the top of Sen's Fortress, which is huge, and then you get carried up even higher to this land of the gods and the higher beings, and it's just outstanding. That cinematic where you sort of go over the edge of the mountain and you see Anor Londo in the sunlight is just amazing. And I don't think there's ever been any kind of, I'm gonna use the term cinematography here, but I don't think there's ever been anything like that in another game since, from my experience. There might be another game that does it just as well or even better, but not a game that I've played. So the next thing I want to talk about is the actual length of the first Dark Souls game. My first run through of it took me ages. It at least took me about 2 weeks, honestly. I was managing to play it every night after school for about, I want to say about 4 hours, and then at the weekends it was pretty much all day. So from about 10 o'clock when I woke up until 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock when I went to sleep. And it just took ages. I couldn't get my head around some of the parts. I couldn't level up. I couldn't get enough souls, all that sort of stuff. But at no point did I ever get bored of playing the game. It was always, oh yeah, I can't wait to get on Dark Souls. I can't wait to get home. And it's a really nice feeling to have when you've got home, or you're going home from a hard day at school or a really crap day, and you're just looking forward to that one thing, and you get to do that one thing. And like I keep saying, you don't really get that, or in my experience, I don't really get that with many new games that come out. There's not as much time and effort put into them, and not as much sort of love put into them. Because like I keep reiterating, Dark Souls to me is a masterpiece of a game. And it just gets better and better the more that I play it, the more that I go through, the more that I see, the more that I learn about the lore. It just gets better and better, and it's kind of snowballed over the years. And I'm quite glad that that's actually happened with the game, because every time I come back to actually playing it, it's even more and more enjoyable, and I get more of a thrill out of it when I actually kill a boss or complete an area. So that's really all I wanted to talk about with Dark Souls. I can't really put it into words how I actually feel about the game properly, because I've got so much praise for it. If you like this sort of content, please tell me in the comments below. I'd really like to hear back from you guys. If not, then it's something that I might have to try and work on, because I do really like talking about the games that I like. So that's it for me. This is the end of the video. Don't forget to like and comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.